Good morning. This public hearing concerning the proposed rules by the Procurement Policy Board will now come to order. The hearing today will provide the public an opportunity to comment on the 3 proposed amendments to Chapters 1, 2, and 3 of Title 9 of the Rules of the City of New York, entitled the Procurement Policy Board Rules. The Procurement Policy Board wants to be sure that anyone who wishes to be heard has an opportunity to do so. All persons who wish to speak must fill out a request slip, which I will be handing out. Each speaker will be allotted approximately 3 minutes. When you testify, please first state your name and affiliation. You may also submit written testimony to me, which will be made part of the final record. Any written submissions must be given to me before the close of the public hearing. Item number 1. The PPB has proposed to amend Chapter 1 of Title 9 of the Rules of the City of New York in order to harmonize the definitions of Vendex and passport, and to amend Chapter 2 of Title 9 of the Rules of the City of New York to require passport enrollment for vendors with contracts and subcontracts, the value of which, when aggregated with the value of all other contracts, subcontracts, franchises, or concessions awarded to the vendor during the immediately preceding 12-month period, is greater than or equal to $250,000. Does anyone wish to testify? Moving on to the next item. Item number 2. The PPB has proposed to amend Chapter 2 of Title 9 of the Rules of the City of New York to change the current policy that requires city agencies to submit a hard copy of a contract's ink, i.e. wet, signature page as part of their registration packages. Does anyone wish to testify? No one wishes to testify. On to the next one. Item number 3. The PPB has proposed to amend Chapter 3 of Title 9 of the Rules of the City of New York to expand opportunities in city procurement for minority and women-owned business enterprises, or MWBEs. This rule amendment will create a new type of small purchase mechanism known as an MWBE non-competitive small purchase method. The MWBE non-competitive small purchase mechanism will allow agencies to make purchases of goods and services from MWBEs without competition in amounts not exceeding $150,000. Does anyone wish to testify? We now want to recognize Bill Murray. Bill Murray, please state your full name and affiliation for the record.
Sure. My name is Bill Murray, and I am the New York City Government Affairs Director for the American Council of Engineering Companies of New York, or ACEC New York. And I have some written comments here, but as a sort of very brief introduction, ACEC New York represents about 270 to 280 engineering firms with expertise in all fields of engineering, from designing buildings to bridges to subway lines, all disciplines. And usually throughout the course of the year, the composition of our organization that is at MWBEs varies between about 20 to 25% as members come and go. And so this is a sort of field of policy that we think a lot about. We have an MWBE committee set up, which tries to brainstorm about ways to make business better for our cities and our states engineering MWBEs. And we also engage with just about, or many of the city agencies, and try to recommend ways for them to make it easier for our MWBE members to do business. So it is something we think a lot about. So ACEC New York appreciates this opportunity to share the following comments regarding the Procurement Policy Board's proposed rule to create an MWBE non-competitive small purchase mechanism. This amendment to the PPB rules would allow city agencies to make purchases of goods and services from MWBEs in amounts up to $150,000 without competition. ACEC New York supports the ideals and intent of the city's MWBE program, but we do not support the proposed rule in this current form. Should it remain in its current form, we request that it be revised to exclude construction-related services, which is the category engineering falls under, from the rule, just as human services and construction have been excluded. And we have 2 main objections to the proposed rule in its current form. One, it erodes the qualifications-based selection, or QBS procurement method. And 2, we are concerned that it would result in artificial $150,000 contracts that will be created from naturally occurring larger contracts. To elaborate, the proposal is inconsistent with the existing qualifications-based selection procurement method which the PPB adopted into its rules in 2006 as the method for selecting design professionals for city construction projects. QBS designates superior technical qualifications and experience as the paramount basis for selecting engineering professionals to design public projects. The city first adopted QBS because it did a study and found that using this procurement method expanded competition, resulted in responding firms having strong credentials, successfully attracted firms who had not had prior contracts with the city, including a number of MWBE firms, and generally increased design excellence all to the benefit of the city. The proposal appears to give city agencies unfettered discretion as to whom is awarded sizable city contracts up to $150,000 in value. The rule provides that contracts of this size may be awarded by agencies with no competition, so long as the agency, quote unquote, ensure that the non-competitive price is reasonable and that purchases are distributed appropriately among responsible MWBE vendors. Alternatively, ACEC New York does support competitive set-aside contracts for MWBE firms. The criteria set forth in the proposal to guide city agencies' selection of vendors is so vague that it could result in engineering firms being awarded contracts that are beyond their technical experience. In this way, the proposed rule does not ensure the best technical proposals will be selected, nor does it ensure the city will receive best value. Should the rule proceed and be adopted, ACEC New York recommends that it be revised to at least prescribe more detailed direction to agencies regarding the selection criteria that they must follow in awarding city contracts. And this is especially important in our field, again, because experience and technical qualifications are paramount to a safe and sound design of infrastructure. In addition, ACEC New York would like the language, request that the language be amended to prevent any agency from using this PPB rule to artificially create multiple contracts of project scopes or phases that typically occur as one larger contract with a team of firms working together on it. For these reasons, we respectfully request that you not adopt the proposed rule in its current form. Thank you very much. Should I also give you a copy?
Yes, please. Let the record reflect written testimony submitted. Thank you. Will anyone else like to testify on this item? If no one else wishes to testify, then that concludes today's hearing. We ask the reporter make any written submissions part of the final record of the proceeding. The hearing is now closed. Thank you.